So I've made a couple of videos now on the MCU Spider-Man 4 and all the rumors and speculations and updates and what did Zendaya eat for breakfast kind of news. And to be honest, it legitimately changes like every single week, like what is going on with this movie. And it's crazy because you got some of the most known reporters in the world saying the movie is going in this direction, and the other most known reporters in the world saying it's going in that direction. It's really, really tough to know what is exactly happening with this movie at the moment, but I've got a ton of new reports to talk about with you guys today. First of all, I wanted to start off with the Cave Comic report, the one that I always love. Cave Comic don't ever get really anything wrong. They actually said that Tom Holland confirms that there's a chance he might not return to Spider-Man in the MCU. Now, this is somewhat taken out of context. I wanted to get that one out of the way first. Again, the essential thing with this is Tom Holland said he wouldn't return to the role unless it was worth the while. So the script would have to be somewhat good, which we know it obviously will be. It was reported in an interview with Collider. Tom Holland revealed he would only return to play Spider-Man if it was worth the while. We have been actively engaging in conversations about it. Feels very protective over Spider-Man. I won't make another one for the sake of making another one. It will have to be worth the while of the character. Now again, I also think worth the while means this has to be, it also has to be a good contract. The reports are saying that he has signed on for Spider-Man 4, Avengers Secret Wars, and Avengers Kang Dynasty. So I feel like he's kind of also talking about this like he hasn't signed on, which the reports are he has. It's just, they're of course finalizing the scripts and all of this. It's just, again, another reason to really talk about the movie, which is kind of interesting. Again, I feel like it was kind of poorly worded by Tom with that means, but there's also another report that says that Marvel is looking for a new director to take on from Spider-Man 4. According to insider Daniel RPK, Marvel Studios is reportedly looking for a new director to helm Spider-Man 4. There were previous discussions that John Watts, who directed the last MCU Spider-Man trilogy, would return for another film. Drew Goddard is one of the studio's top choices for the new project. And again, the other one is, it says Drew Goddard is between Sony and Marvel choices to direct Spider-Man 4, and that one was reported by Comic File. Now, I don't know much about Drew Goddard, nor do I know anything about really the projects that he has done a whole lot of, if I'm being completely honest. But I do think it is time for a new director with this new, what looks to be Spider-Man trilogy that we could be getting, which should take place in, of course, college. Again, John Watts worked perfectly fine for Spider-Man Homecoming and Far From Home just because he's kind of what Marvel like, and especially in that phase where it was like that snippy little comedy that also worked well with the actors like Zendaya and Tom Holland and a couple of the other guys they had there. But when No Way Home came on, it was asked of John Watts to take a more serious role, which for the most part I thought he nailed. Again, he nailed the scenes of, again, spoilers if you haven't seen the movie, but I'm pretty sure 99.9% of you have. He nailed the scenes where, of course, Aunt May did die. Nailed the scenes where Peter, of course, everyone forgot who he was, and all those emotional type of stuff. But I feel like the first third of the movie, and this is, I think, the defect of No Way Home that a lot of people talk about, the second third and the third third of No Way Home is a really exceptional movie. But the first third is not overall that great, and also seems like a dramatic different tone to the film, where you've got that comedy where Doctor Strange is like the cringe stuff, like let's Scooby-Doo this shit and stuff like that. That just doesn't work, and I know that's some of the writers that did that, but also it's John Watts directing too. That's just kind of the projects that he's been known for, have that short, cringy, funny to 4-year-old type comedy. yeah, again, when we're going to have these college movies that are going to be a much more serious tone, at least they should be, especially considering no one knows who Tom Holland is. He's in a really, really sad and depressing state of his life where no one knows who, again, Tom Holland's Peter Parker is, I should say. People know who Tom Holland is, but no one knows who Tom Holland's Peter Parker is. It's a very depressing stage where he's on his own. He has no friends, no family, no job really from what we've seen. He probably will have a job at the start of this movie. This and that. You're going to need a director who can absolutely tackle those emotional scenes and know if and when there is going to be comedy in the movie, which there will be, when to put it in and how that comedy is expressed by the actors. Like, I think if No Way Home had comedy such as Tom Holland was fighting Doc Ock, right, and, you know, maybe him laughing at the tentacles, which he does in that movie, that's okay, and maybe him making a joke to the villain is fine, but the comedy is like Zendaya saying, you know, to Doctor Strange, like, maybe you should thank us, and, you know, say please, and Doctor Strange saying, can you please Scooby-Doo this shit? Like, scenes and lines like that, it's not going to fit this Spider-Man. It's not going to fit the college movies, right? And you're going to need to nail that on the head. And I think I would have personally liked Sam Raimi to come back and direct them, because the last time we saw Peter in a really depressed and fragile state was like Spider-Man 2 in all these movies. And he was directing that was perfect in the Tobey Maguire movie. Probably the best Spider-Man movie of all time. In my opinion, it is the best Spider-Man movie of all time. Again, you're going to need a director who can probably kind of emanate that into this new MCU Spider-Man 4. And can this Drew Goddard guy do it? I'm not too sure, but look, I don't know his work. I can't really comment on that. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how that goes. There's of course some other rumors here and there that I will say before we go. I don't have an official source for this one.
I lied.
There are rumors going around that Sony and Marvel are kind of disagreeing on a script. Sony potentially want to do a bit more multiversal stuff, and actually maybe I do have a source for this, I don't even know, but they want to potentially bring Kraven the Hunter and bring Venom and all those guys from their universe into Tom Holland's universe and combine them and do something like that. While Marvel, I believe, somewhat want a grounded take, which is I think what the fans want. But Marvel, I think, want to add some multiversal elements, maybe at the end or something like that, that teases up for Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see which way they go, because Sony could also argue, hey man, some of your recent movies like Ant-Man and the Wasp and like, geez, I can't even think of it. The Marvels have been all pretty crap, while we've had Venom and the Spider-Verse movies, which are done really good, and then Marvel might say, but yeah, you've also had Morbius and Venom 2, which sucked. It's going to be an interesting argument. Hopefully they meet in the middle, maybe have some multiversal stuff. I like the idea of this movie being a grounded movie that maybe at the end explores a multiverse or two cameo that sets up for Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. I don't think this needs to be a multiverse movie, and I think it would be way better as a, I think, grounded movie, especially considering this is, again, no one even knows who he is and all that type of stuff. I think that's what Tom Holland would want. I think he'd want a grounded movie where he can really express his acting as Spider-Man and not have to rely on like Tobey Maguire and that to bring in fans and audiences, which No Way Home objectively and arguably did. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this all does go. Definitely don't forget to comment your thoughts and opinions down below, guys. Do you think this movie needs a new director? Maybe new writers? Should they go with Sony script? Should they go with Marvel script? Will Tom Holland come back as Spider-Man? This and that. Definitely don't forget to leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Subscribe to my sports channel and my IRL Like Vlog channel, I should say. Links for them will be in the description down below. And as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.